there's one thing that we all tell ourselves when we fail at something is that we're stupid and we can't do it because we fell at it. But honestly, I don't think failure defines us as people. I don't think it defines us of who we are. And if it were to define us at something, I think it would define us at someone to be, needing to work harder in life because, you know, defining you as a label as this failure thing is just not the truth because failure is something when you think about it can be changed into success because failure comes with success the more you work at it. If I were to keep doing this YouTube channel and let's just say zero views, zero everything, every day I post about 100 videos and not one breaks over 10 views, I guarantee you when I keep going, before I get to 1,000, one of them's going to get to 100. And obviously that's a very low number in the sense of like, hey, like 100, that's it for 1,000. But if my goal is to break a certain number, a certain, goal, it's not really failure because I keep going and then I start succeeding. So at the end of the day, failure is not going to define you as an individual. It only shows you how you can succeed because failure is about learning and learning is about your goal and your reach to success. Now, a really good example I like to use is that grades. Now, when we fail at school, we tend to define ourselves as a failure because we failed our test. And grades do not define you as a person. And the reason why I say that is because look at a lot of people that are billionaires, millionaires, and are smart and dropped out of either college or even like fucking high school. It doesn't define you as an individual because school is set up in a ways that people learn differently. And if you can't learn in a certain aspect and you learn differently than others, then honestly, it's just, it makes you unique as a person because everybody is different. And because a whole majority of people are good at one math test and you're not, it's not going to be the setting stone of who you are as a person because of that. If anything, it probably makes you a lot better than everybody else because you are different in the sense of like, hey, it's not for you. You're probably good at something else than these people aren't. And I'm not saying in the sense of like maybe like you studied your ass off and then you did good. Maybe all these people put 50 hours in 1 week into studying for this test, but you only put 5, which obviously that's a big difference where, you know, at the same time, it doesn't define you as a failure because you didn't put that time. Again, being defined as a failure is not a fact because a fact is something that is a hardened truth and is something that just cannot be changed in the sense of like, it's a fact that, I don't know, that water is essential in our lives. There's nothing else than water that's going to be, that's going to help us survive in life. There's other things that probably later on will be developed, but water right now is a fact that it will keep you alive because you need to drink it every day. That's a fact, okay? And grades are just something that failure, is something that can be changed because it's in the moment that you didn't do good at something, so you learn from that mistake and you switch to something better. And I think that is something I was beating myself around the bush with for a long time because I am not someone that is good at tests in general. You put me in a room, you tell me to do a test, I'm not going to remember shit. My mind is running at 100 miles an hour. I can't fucking remember shit because I am stressed. It's putting that norm on me and that, those social norms of tests are scary. They're big and scary and that, you got to do really good. Your life depends on it. It's almost to that aspect where it's like, the rules are, you're especially in college and university, you're put into like either like this big room where it's like not a single fucking word or else you're out. And it's just like, yeah, like it's not a big deal, doesn't affect you, but like it's just like it's adding to a lot of people a certain fears of like, holy shit, like this is a test that's putting psychological tolls on you because it's adding stress of being like, holy shit, like this is big, you got to be quiet, you got to do this. And it's just like unwanted things that get put onto you. And at the end of the day, that just creates more stress and fear about it. And then obviously that could lead you to failure because you're hyper focused on so many other things. No, that's the thing with, being defined as a failure. Because of all these like things that happen to us, we probably will give up. And I made a video a few weeks ago about how failure, is good because in the sense of like, it means that, you know, you're learning to succeed in something that you're doing and that you shouldn't give up. And that just kind of applies with the same thing. Because you failed, it doesn't mean you're labeled as a failure. Now, being labeled as a failure is because of your own, you know, your own self, imagination about yourself. Like, you're telling yourself that. So obviously now you're going to become a failure. You're going to do things that are going to lead you to becoming a failure. Because you're telling yourself, I'm a failure. I will be failing, and I'm not going to do good in this. I'm not going to do good in this test. I'm never going to get this. And because you tell yourself, like, you're 100% that this is going to be something that's going to happen to you when you go do that test, or you're going on that first date, or you're doing this and that, obviously at that point, that mindset is still in your head, because you've convinced yourself at that point that this is going to happen, and you're just going to fail. But even then, it's not even a fact. You can literally just change that mindset by realizing that, hey, you know what? I'm just beating myself around, and I'm telling myself these things. Let me try being positive about myself and see where it goes. And then once you have that and things start slightly going well for you, you realize that you can succeed. And I don't want to ramble too much. I feel like this video is kind of a ramble fest, but I saw like this video a while back, and it's just more about like how school, post-secondary school especially, is something that where, just for you to get a piece of paper saying I graduated, after sacrificing 4 to 6 years of doing this, that, I could get a job, and I did. And the fact that you need to, be in a certain, like, category when it comes to your numbers and grades, you need to have a consistent B or A, or, you can't have D's, or else if you got D's, then you're out. And it's just, like, those perceptions make you think that you're a stupid person, and you define yourself as an idiot, and you'll define yourself as a worthy piece of crap that has nothing to do and nothing to give to society because of how terribly you did on this exam or how terribly you did on this assignment. And I want to tell you that again, this has nothing to do as how you are. Everyone is good at different things, and when you're good at something else than other people, they might tell themselves that about themselves, being like, oh man, this guy's really good at, I don't know, playing football and I suck at it. Or this guy's really good at editing videos on YouTube and good at making videos on YouTube. I wish I was good. I would suck at doing that. I would suck at talking. I would do this, that. And that's what I think is important, is like, you can't define yourself as something, especially if it's not a fact, and especially if you can just change it. Because defining yourself as a certain thing will just psychologically put you in a situation where you've now convinced yourself, and then that point you think that that's the reality of things, and it can't, But that's what I want to say, that this isn't true, and that you can change the way you think about it. You're not an idiot. You're not a failure. Failing is something you can change, because you need failure to succeed. And if you succeed, you need it to fail in order to succeed. That's what I wanted to say. But it's been Fellow. Sorry for my ramble fest, and I hope you have a great day. Stay smart.